Hi guys, thanks for joining me. This little sort of tutorial slash how-to is for our birdie masks, and what I'm going to do in this tutorial is I'm not going to necessarily take you through each step of creating the actual bird, because there is a video on our channel which is called the round robin, and that's using exactly the same template. So I'll pop a little link somewhere for that video, and then you can refer to that to actually filling the basic template. So what we're going to focus on in this tutorial are the actual masks themselves. So all of these masks are designed to fit with the Basic Birdie template, and as I just mentioned, this originally launched as the robin template. So if you purchased the robin template or the round robin kit combo or the trio of robin kit, then you will already have this template. So it's exactly the same template. And then all of these masks have been designed to fit with these templates. This one, for example, is the Blue Tit Mask, and as you can see, they fit inside. So what we're going to do in this tutorial is I'm going to go through each individual sort of bird variation that we have and show you how to combine the fibres, what colours go where. There is also a PDF which takes you through each one of the birds, so we will touch on those during the tutorial as well. So I think I'll start with the blue tit, and we will hop straight in and start making our blue tit basic birdie. What I will do to begin is just sort of run through the concept behind these. Whichever sort of mask you go for, you'll get a downloadable PDF. They always come with the Basic Birdie template, and it gives you the weights and measures, and then you get the corresponding PDF page for the actual bird that you're making. And what we tend to do is just put down a base layer and then colour in over the top. So for the blue tit, you start with a base layer of French blue, and then you've got all of your accent colours. And as I previously mentioned, the round of robins tutorial will show you how to fill this template. So I'm not going to cover that in this video. We're just going to get straight into the sort of the decoration and the sort of colouring in. And the way that these masks work is you create your base layer, and then you pop your mask down on top of your base layer, and then you use the corresponding colours on your sheet to colour in the different sections. So for example, this section here is this section here, and these lines and all of the gaps and things that are on your mask correspond to the lines. So for colouring in this bit, what I would do is I would take the daffodil coloured wool, I would lay down a line of daffodil here, a line of daffodil across here, and a line of daffodil down there. Then take off the mask and colour that section in. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to grab my daffodil coloured wool. So here's the daffodil, and we're not putting down very thick lines. This is just a guide, so I'm going to pull off a really small amount, and using my lightest needle, which is my 40 spiral, I'm just going to roll these fibres a little bit and very, very lightly, first barb, I'm going to go along that line and felt those fibres down like that. And pull off a little bit more, just roll them together. And the whole idea behind these masks is that they just give you that nice consistent section, because you can then turn the birdie over and you know that your lines will be in exactly the same place on both sides. So it takes out that sort of guesswork of making both sides matching. But you don't have to use both sides. Obviously you may be making a card topper. So there you can see that I've got a really nice section. Pull off just a little bit more, and I'm going to take that right to the edge, like so. Now you can go and draw all of your lines in, or you can do a section and then colour it in. I will show you what I would do to colour it in. Now, I wouldn't put down an awful lot of wool straight away. I like to sort of put a first layer in and then go over it a little more. I'm using the first barb on my needle, really teeny tiny little stabs. And pull off a little bit more, go around the edge, and all I want to do is just get a first layer down. And it will look a little bit patchy, but that's okay. But always bring those fibres inside that line. There, a little bit more. And you can see, and this makes it very, very obvious, so it's probably a good way to demonstrate this, but the colour that I'm putting down over the top of this colour, you can kind of see it coming through where it's patchy. So if you wanted something that was a little more, not a solid block of colour, but sort of almost two-tone, you can use this technique where you just lay down a thin colour over the top. I mean, the Basic Birdie template has a lot of project potential for different types of birds. So a little bit more fibre now, and you can see that the colour's starting to block up. But again, just keeping those nice crisp lines. And again, still with that first barb, we don't want to felt too heavily through to the other side at this point. And I think the nice thing about these masks as well is there are some very interesting sort of lines and shapes on them. Particularly, you've got this lovely wavy line on the wing here, and you can use this template on another project, and if you wanted a wavy line, or if you wanted a nice curved line like that, you can hold this, you know, to a project and use use the edges, the outsides, inside, to make all kinds of sort of shapes and things on any type of project, really. So working all over, and you are just pulling off pinches. There's no weights and measures to this. It's just colouring it in. Got a little bit more of the blue still showing through there, so I'm just going to lay a little bit more down. And there you can see you've got a nice sort of block of colour. I'm going to use my multi-needle. In fact, actually I might use my multi-punch, my clattering tool. Oh, hang on. There we go. That one's a bit too clattery. Let me get my other one. Preferably one that's got needles in it, as I've just noticed that one doesn't. There we go. So light bouncing action. We're not driving, we're just bouncing off the mat. And then I'm just going to neaten up those edges, make it nice and straight. And you'll take more time on this than I am here. This is just to get your sort of the kind of how-to with it. So once you've got your first colour in, you can come back in with your template or with your mask. There. Yep, that's all fine. So the next colour on our sheet is going to be some spring green, which is going to go in this section here. So here's my spring green, and you don't need an awful lot, it's just really small amounts. Just pull off a pinch, and again we're just going to sort of etch out those lines. Roll those together a bit. So just very lightly, first barb, like so, and then a tiny little bit up the other side. There, and that's just enough for you to see. Again, pop that off, and then just pull off your pinches to colour in. And the nice thing about this is you get really good consistent results, consistent placement. So it does help when you want to make, you know, matching pieces. There. And again, I'm doing this quite quickly and a little roughly. Just bouncing off the mat to compact those fibres. Not doing too much at the moment. But there's our sort of next bit. So bring it back in, and obviously you can see that these sections here are a lot wider. So this bit and this bit is actually white. I'll grab some of my white, and you can hold your template or hold your mask down in your template. And with these sort of more open sections, just felt round. There. Again, it's still that first barb, really lightly felted. There. That's how you would do those bits. Pop a a little bit more in this top bit here. And again, I am doing this a little quick and crude, but it's just for an idea. So there's, you can see that's where his eye goes. And if we bring back in now our little PDF, you can see that all of this section here is all done in navy blue. But we do have this little headpiece up here, which is done in a blue sort of white rough hand blend. So what I will do for this purpose, I've got a little bit of blue and a bit of white, and I'm going to start with sort of 0.5 of a gram and 0.25 of a gram, so about half the amount of white to blue. And to hand blend, you lay your fibres on top of each other, then you pull them apart and stack. Pull them apart and stack. Rotate it 90 degrees, pull and stack. And you're roughing up the fibres so that you have a nice mix. And if you've got any sort of blocks of colour, then just pull them apart. Now you can also use carding brushes to mix up your fibres, and if you don't have carding brushes, little dog brushes will also do the same job. So I'm just going to take out those blocks of white, and you can see that it just lightens up the whole thing. There's our, I'll grab a little bit more of the French blue, and you can see just by adding in that little bit of white, just makes that little bit paler. So I'm going to mix this up a little bit more. I want this very well blended. Don't want those blocks of colours. And I've made up a lot more than I need, but I can fussy pick what I want. I think that will do. So we're going to do this sort of rough blend up in this little bit here. So to start with, I'm just going to pull off a really small amount and just give myself that guiding line as an indicator. Pull that out. I can see it. I don't know if the camera's picking it up terribly well. And then just pull out a little bit of that colour, and as you can see from our PDF, just that crown. So I'm going to follow the line of that white that we've put down and go round until I meet the line that we've put in here. There, and you can see that there's just that little bit of extra sort of shading and lightness to the crown of his head. Okay, so I'm going to double back now and sort of fill in this bit around here, which is going to be his which is going to be done in navy blue. So here's the navy blue. I'm going to leave my eye section. I'm going to sort of miss that out. And what I've done is I've just used the first barb on my needle and pointed the wall, or pointed it at the wall, the way I want it to go, just to open up that eye hole just a little bit more. And then from that eye, in the gap, right off to the end. And then back round, and then just staying in the lines. First barb on the needle, and move around and colour in a bit more. And you can see just how quick and easy it makes repeating probably what I said earlier, just how quick it makes the continuity. You can absolutely get those fibres down in the right place on both sides. I think that was, you know, sort of the main point behind the masks, because when we did the first sort of samples of the spring birdie based on the template, the one thing that we noticed was it was really difficult and annoying to get them to match on both sides. So grab a little more of my navy blue and just finish off around this part. Probably don't need that much. Take it up to where the eye is going to go, and double back. With the template, a little bit of a wiggle. You will catch some fibres underneath. You can see that not a lot has come through on the other side. But I don't want my navy blue to get mixed up in my white, so there. I won't do any more than that at the moment. Now, with regards to the beak, you can do, where's the black? I will just grab my black and let's put a little bit of black on the beak. Like so. Okay, so you can see how this is really coming together. I mean, I have done this very quickly, but I would spend a lot more time sort of filling in these pieces. So that's the basic colour. Now what we're going to do is put him down sort of a little eyeball, and to do that you're just going to take the tiniest pinch. I mean, I would say that that's probably 0.025, so you know, weigh out 0.1 of a gram, split it in half, and then split one of those halves again. And what I'm going to do is roll it up in my fingers, not tight but just loose, and you want a ball that is around the size of the eye. You can see on the mask where we've got this sort of little bulgy bit where the eye goes. So I'm going to move that round and just felt that in a nice little circle. Then grab yourself, I mean, it's just a few fibres, roll, and I'm just going to come round that sort of side of the eye, and because it's white I can just felt the rest of that out there. So we've got that sort of light hit in the eye, and then we're going to make that light dot, and for that it's literally a few hairs, and I'm going to roll it together in my fingers and lose it completely. There it is. And we just want to get that little light. So it's a tiny, tiny little bit, but you want it bigger than it's going to end up, because as you felt through, and again, just that first barb on the needle. Oh, he looks a bit angry. There. He looks like he's very serious. A little serious birdie. So that is, in essence, I would come back in now and bring this navy right up to where my white is on that eye. And let me get in another one that's perhaps not quite so serious looking. You can see that the brightness on this one is a lot more, because obviously you know, there's a lot more fibre that's been laid down, so you know, you can get that as sort of colourful as you want. I want to move on now very slightly and just talk about your obvious edges. And what I would do, I'm not going to necessarily do it now, but if you are doing it double-sided, then you would do exactly what we've done on this side on the reverse, and then you would grab, for instance, along this edge, it's the daffodil, and what you would do is, in little bits, felt some tufts of fluff along that edge, and you want all of this overhanging the edge. Like so. Then put your birdie, this edge, face down, and as you stuff him in the template, you can see it brings all of this up and over that edge. I've got it a bit excessive here, but, and then just felt it on the back. And you'll do this, you can see now you've got that sort of nice covering, and then you'll spend time refining. Now if you wanted him to have a bit of a pudgier belly, then you're going to add some more wool in this area and just sort of puff this little bit out. Don't forget that we still have his wing, so I'm just going to pop him to one side, and here's the base wing finished. And again, your weights and measures for the body and the wing are on the PDF, but don't forget there is also the weights and measures reference guide on our website. So under projects, infos and downloads, click on weights and measures, and that gives you the weight of wool that we use in all of our templates. So it is a quick reference guide for you. So once you've made your base layer for your wing, and again this one is in French blue, nice little simple decoration on this one. It's a little bit of the white, so I'm going to pull off a bit, I'm going to roll it, grab my lightest needle, and then just follow that line or follow that mask all the way. And if you are doing, you know, if you're doing your birdie facing this way, then make sure the wing faces that way, not that way. Otherwise he would have some aerodynamic problems with flying. And I'm just going to bring that out. And just give it a little bit of a shape, a little bit of a tidy up. It's a bit thick, maybe that line. Let me put my mask back in. There, that's better. And then I'm going to come round just on that edge and accentuate it a little bit. But then you know that if you're doing a wing on the other side, then your little wiggly line is going to be in exactly the same place. So this is not very well felted at all, but then your wing, let me bring one in that is a little better felted. So, you know, take it to the edges, firm up. I mean, this one, you can see his eyeball is a little bit more bulgy than the one that I did, and you can just keep recreating these over and over and over, and it's just a really nice template to use. And obviously the Basic Birdie template, just in itself, you don't have to use a mask with it. You can indeed make all manner of bird shapes. So that's the blue tit. What I will do now is sort of reset, and we'll do the next one in the set. Here are some what we put on, sort of some little Hessian bunting, and you know, there's your Bullfinch, there's your Wren, there's your little blue tit there, there's your Goldfinch, and you know, there's a little blackbird as well. I mean, obviously there's no mask for him, he's all black. So it's just, again, same eye technique, but then you're just putting, I think this is our marigold colour, and you know, just putting a little circle of marigold around the eye, giving him a little bit of a beak and that light dot, and you've got yourself a blackbird as well. So I'll pop a few more pictures up on screen as well. I do hope that you have enjoyed the video. Do give the video a thumbs up, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you hit that little bell icon, that'll tell you when we upload new videos. So that's the Basic Birdie. Please do come and share your makes with us over in our Facebook group. That's www.facebook.com/groups/mumsmakery. So that's it from me and the Basic Birdie. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I wish you all a very crafty day.